Nick Aldis is out as SmackDown General Manager. Adam Pearce is in that chair this Friday instead, and everybody's already decided what that means. I don't think they're right. Welcome back to WWE Galaxy. I'm Nova. Everybody's framing this as Gunther bullying Aldis out of his job. I think that's backwards, and I want to walk you through why, including a few pieces I don't think people have connected yet. And yes, I've said it before on this channel that these two are heading towards SummerSlam. I'm not going to lean on that report again here. Instead, I want to look at what's actually different about this specific week, because there's more going on than just a repeat of the same attack. Aldis isn't some office guy who happened to get caught in a bad spot with Gunther this week. He's a former NWA World Champion, a reign that ran well over 1,000 days, one of the longest in that title's history. Every escalation with Gunther builds a stronger case for exactly the thing Aldis has apparently wanted the whole time, getting back in a ring himself, rather than weakening his position the way most people assume. Here's a detail I don't think gets enough attention. Both times Gunther has gone after Aldis, it hasn't been security that actually stops it. It's been Cody Rhodes, sprinting down personally to pull him off. That's not officials doing their job. That's one wrestler, twice, making the decision on his own to physically intervene in something that technically isn't his fight. Think about what that pattern actually builds. Cody's already got his own SummerSlam match locked in against Punk. He doesn't need this extra entanglement with Gunther at all. And yet he keeps showing up for it anyway. That tells you either Cody genuinely respects Aldis enough to keep putting himself between him and a guy who's proven dangerous, or WWE is quietly building Cody into this triangle for a reason we haven't seen play out yet. Either way, a guy who keeps making unscripted saves isn't just filling space in someone else's angle. He's becoming part of the story himself, whether that was the original plan or not. And there's a piece of this that's easy to miss, because Pearce never complains about it on camera. This is now the second time in a matter of weeks he's had to step back into running both shows at once. That's a massive workload for one person, night after night, on top of whatever he's already handling for Raw specifically. WWE doesn't usually let that kind of double duty run indefinitely, without it becoming its own storyline eventually. Either Pearce gets visibly worn down by it on screen, which opens the door to somebody exploiting that exhaustion, or WWE uses this stretch to justify a bigger, more permanent authority shakeup once Aldis's situation with Gunther actually gets resolved. Right now, it's being treated as a background detail. I don't think it stays that way for long. I also want to give Gunther's side of this a fair look, because it's not pure irrational rage. Go back to Clash in Italy. He lost that match to Cody, with his foot clearly under the bottom rope, a finish that even neutral commentary acknowledged looked wrong in the moment. Then Aldis set up the rematch stipulation Gunther himself picked, Sami Zayn as special referee, and that plan fell apart when Zayn's own agenda got in the way. Then Night of Champions turned it into a triple threat instead of the one-on-one rematch Gunther felt he'd earned. 3 separate times, Gunther walked away from a title opportunity with a legitimate argument that something outside his control cost him. That doesn't excuse choking out a general manager, but it does explain why his frustration didn't come from nowhere. A guy who keeps losing through circumstances, rather than clean defeats, is going to eventually snap at whoever's closest to the decisions being made. And Aldis has been that person every single time. If this kind of full-picture breakdown is what you actually come here for, hitting like and subscribing helps me keep chasing angles like it. Let's get into what I think actually happens from here. Here's how I see this playing out. Most likely, Aldis challenges Gunther directly the moment he's back, with no authority figure conflict standing in the way anymore, and WWE books it officially for SummerSlam. But there's another version where Pearce holds down both shows a while longer, letting the tension build every week Aldis stays out, until Aldis reappears at SummerSlam itself, not behind a desk, but walking out as a competitor with zero warning. And honestly, both of those might really be the same story underneath. This isn't a demotion at all. It's WWE clearing the exact obstacle that's kept Aldis out of the ring since he took the job, using this ongoing conflict as the reason nobody has to explain outright. There's a fourth possibility worth throwing in too. What if Cody ends up factoring into this directly, not just as the guy making saves? If he keeps getting physically involved every time Gunther targets Aldis, there's a real chance WWE eventually turns that into something bigger than a bystander role. Maybe even a stipulation tied to Gunther and Aldis's eventual match, where Cody's presence at ringside becomes part of the actual story instead of just a rescue. Given he's already tangled up with Gunther through history and now with Aldis through these repeated saves, that's not a stretch. It's a thread that's already been pulled twice. So which of those directions feels right to you? Or is there a version I haven't thought of? Tell me your prediction in the comments. Like the video if this changed how you're reading the situation. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll keep tracking this all the way to SummerSlam. I'm Nova, WWE Galaxy. See you in the next one.